So guys, Demetrius Andrade calls out Errol Spence, says Errol Spence is very sloppy, and wants to fight him at 160 pounds. Now, it was a bit of a strange call out. Demetrius Andrade has got a lot of fighters at the 160 pound division. He's got Jacobs, Canelo, he's got Golovkin that he should be worrying about, but he's called out Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a 147 pounder. He's currently the champion at 100, or the IBF champion at 147 pounds. I don't know why Demetrius Andrade will be calling out somebody that's 2 weight divisions below him. It doesn't make sense. But maybe he feels that Errol Spence is a big dude and Errol Spence can come up to 160. Would Errol Spence go up to 160? Would Errol Spence do a Kell Brook and go up and fight Demetrius Andrade? Now, Demetrius Andrade is no Gennady Golovkin in terms of punching power. He's more of a slickster. So would Errol Spence consider a fight with Andrade? He has said that he would move up to 154, and he could move up to 154. We know he's a big welterweight, so in future we do expect him to move up. Now, Errol Spence has said that he would be willing to, like, by the end of his career, he could see himself moving up to middleweight. But the thing is, would he move up to middleweight right away? I don't think so. I think Errol Spence is being built in a way where they're going to do things like that slowly because they don't want him to take a loss. And I'm not saying whether he would lose to Andrade, but I think obviously Andrade's a bigger man. He's very slick, and it would be it'd be dangerous for Errol Spence to be taking a fight with a much bigger man like that. So I'm pretty sure Errol Spence will be confident that he could beat Andrade. It's just the fact that Andrade is a lot bigger, so that would be dangerous for Spence to be moving up 2 weights, especially when you're being built up to be this American star. They're building him up to be the next Floyd Mayweather, next Manny Pacquiao. Whether we can reach those levels, only time will tell. But to jump 2 weight categories and fight someone like Demetrius Andrade would just be too risky now for the Errol Spence brand. So I don't see that happening. I don't see Errol Spence moving up 2 weight categories to fight Demetrius Andrade. I think it would be a great fight. Even right now, I think Errol Spence would cause Andrade hell, although Andrade says that, Errol Spence is sloppy. I think maybe Andrade's call out is because he felt that, well, if Errol Spence can fight a guy like Mikey Garcia, right, who's 2 weight categories below, why can't he fight someone 2 weight categories below? The difference is Mikey Garcia was calling out Errol Spence. Errol Spence isn't calling out Andrade, so it's a difference. But like I said, now that Andrade has said this, maybe Errol Spence will respond, and maybe Errol Spence will be willing to do it. Maybe he'll look at Andrade and think he's a weak champion at 160. However, the problem is, just say, for example, Errol Spence moves up to 160, beats Andrade. Where's he going to go? Like, is he going to fight Canelo? Is he going to fight Golovkin? Because those guys are massive, compared to, I think, because a big welterweight doesn't mean you're a big middleweight. Canelo's now filled out in the middleweight, and he's in my opinion, he's a decent sized middleweight. Golovkin's a decent sized middleweight. They're middleweights. Andrade is obviously somebody that's moved up from 154 pounds. So he's not the biggest middleweight. He's a guy that's moved up. So would Errol Spence take a challenge for a world title, for the WBO world title? Would he go up 2 weight categories to fight someone like Andrade, who's not the biggest middleweight, but he was a big 154 pounder, and Errol Spence is a big welterweight? Would he be willing to take that jump? Many people think it would probably only be 1 weight jump, because many people think that it could be a light middleweight. But the fact is, if you can make welterweight, right, then you're not a big light middleweight, because you can make welterweight. Because a big light middleweight can't make welterweight. Jarrett Hurd can't make welterweight. Jaime Munguia can't make welterweight. So that's what I call a big light middleweight. If you can't, those guys just can't make, it's not possible for them to make welterweight. So Errol Spence isn't that big when it comes to middleweight or light middleweights. Those guys are bigger because, like I said, they can't make welterweight. Errol Spence can. So that's my take on it. But what do you think? Do you think Errol Spence should jump up 2 weight categories to fight Demetrius Andrade, or do you think it's a bit of a crazy move right now? Leave your thoughts. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.